I'm gonna erase all the analysis like it says. Just let it load. I don't know what we're experiencing. Okay, that's fine. I'm removing all the analysis. You see guys, starting off on a clean chart. So obviously if you've been on my sessions, if you've been on my live breakdown sessions, you've watched the live videos on my page, you know exactly how I work, you know exactly how I operate in terms of analyzing. When I start my analysis, initially I want to start on a big time frame, so I start on my daily time frame. Why I start on a daily time frame? Initially just because obviously I want to have a good idea of what's been happening for the past month on NASDAQ, or for the past 2 or 3 weeks or so, you know. So once I obviously, right now as you can see, I am on a daily time frame. Daily positive has been bullish for the past week. You can tell all the obviously all the past 5 candlesticks have been obviously buy candlesticks, have been bullish candlesticks. Obviously you can tell the market has been really positive for the past week. But looking at the past, I would say I'd want to highlight about 3 months back from when NASDAQ has been moving till now. I use the vertical line obviously to say, okay, right now we're in November, October, I'd say October, September. So I want to highlight from September. So how has the market been moving from September? So this, from where I've placed this line, just make it a bit thicker there for you. From where I've placed this line till current time, this is from September obviously till now. You can see obviously since September the market has gone on to make many other new highs, and we're obviously currently sitting on record high on NASDAQ as we speak. So I just want to go and do the basics and just pick out what is the lowest point that the market has hit. Right there, that would be the lowest NASDAQ has gone ever since the 7th of September. This happened on the 5th of October. I highlighted that but ever since then, ever since October, 5th of October, we've been pretty much buying strongly as we should. So I'm gonna zoom into onto the section that I'll be analyzing, obviously, which is from the lowest area that I can pick up since September. So this would be around about this section. So I'm gonna highlight that area there. This is the lowest section or lowest zone that ever took place here ever since the 7th of September, and that happened on the 5th of October. I'm gonna highlight that because I'm gonna start breaking down the market from the 5th of October, and I'll show you exactly how you must do it yourself as time goes forward when you want to analyze the market on your own. So I'm gonna use that rectangle right there, and I'm just gonna highlight this section here. I'm saying here is obviously the lowest the market has ever gone ever since the 7th of September. This happened on the 5th of October. Going up, obviously, now I can tell it's not a trace. It's not even difficult to look at where is the highest point of the chart right now. This is the current price the market closed at on Friday, which is 16,591.0. That is the highest price that NASDAQ closed on, obviously, which is the current record. From here, so as you can see there, it's quite easy, guys. NASDAQ, in fact, is the easiest pair to ever trade. For me, I find indices very easy, very simple to trade, more than currencies. Currencies have obviously way too many. They travel down for a long time, they go up for a long time. But with NASDAQ, US 30, USP 500, German 30, no matter how long they twitch and twist the and turn, just know that the guaranteed position you're always going to have is a buy. That is one thing that you must always know, that the market will always buy when it comes to when it comes to NASDAQ, no matter the case, even people who can't even trade properly have mastered charts like NASDAQ, guys. I'm gonna open the comments one more time, and I want thumbs up to hear that is everything fine in terms of audio. Is the live not paused? I don't want to be talking to myself right now. So let's see. I want to see those thumbs up, then I can continue. Thumbs up, guys. Give me thumbs up if the audio is fine, if the screen is fine. Yeah, you guys can clearly see everything. Thumbs up. Give me those thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. If you guys can really see everything, you can hear me properly, and you understand what's going on. I want to see those thumbs up, hands or something. Come on. Okay. On thumbs up. Come on, guys. You guys can hear me? Okay, I see you guys agree. Thumbs up. Oh, perfect. So I'm turning off the comments now. Turn them off. I was just doing that so I can get a confirmation that you guys are good and you guys are understanding me. So yeah, obviously I did say I'll be analyzing NASDAQ from the 4th of October, and I'll be doing this from all different time frames, or the best. Well, I'll try to do all time frames, obviously. So I just started with the daily time frame, and right now I'm currently on the 4-hour time frame. And looking at the 4-hour time frame, the chart looks a little bit different compared to the daily time frame. Initially, because obviously coming down to the 4-hour time frame, you're experiencing way more candlesticks than on a daily time frame. So what happens is that with a daily time frame, obviously it's one candlestick a day, but when in 4 hours we have about, I think it's 5 or 6, I'm not too sure. We have more candlesticks in a day than on a daily chart. Therefore, we experience more movements on a 4-hour chart than on a daily chart, in terms of you being able to spot entry points. Obviously, if you were to say, is it easier to get an entry point on a daily or on a 4-hour? Definitely 4 hours is easier to get an entry point. It gets easier. The entries get easier as you travel down within the time frames till all the way till 1 minute. When I take my entry points, obviously I go all the way to 1 minute. So I want to break down this part. This is a buy trend that took place from the 4th of October till current price, which obviously last week Friday. I'm pretty confident, and I'm telling you that the NASDAQ will be buying even this week. We're still buying very strong. We're still on a very strong buy market. Still very strong. But we'll be buying. We'll be doing record high over record high on record. Even if it turns a bit down, it's not a matter of flying down. It's just pulling down to actually come and support and push back up again. So I'm gonna start my analysis right now. I picked up the lowest point ever since September and October, obviously till now in November. So going forward, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to highlight right now. I want to highlight for you the second low. So what happens on NASDAQ is that whenever it pushes, once it starts going up, when it goes up, obviously for our time frame, try as much as you can to highlight your lows. So whenever you highlight the low section, normally the lows, once you highlight a low, it'll always pick out a previous high. As you can see, I highlighted a low there and it picks out a previous high. That's obviously your basic 4-hour time frame. So obviously also here I'm gonna use a different horizontal. I'm gonna use this one, horizontal line. So obviously after highlighting this low, I'm gonna go out and then pick out this low there again. So what happens in most cases is that even if the market does not pick out after highlighting a low, the previous high section does not necessarily have to be on the initial support or resistance there, because obviously it could pick out other supports and resistance on another part of the chart. As you can see right here, as I've highlighted this high when it comes. So in this section, once you've highlighted that high, you can tell in the future it already picked out a certain support or resistance of the market, a certain low or high on the market. So in some cases, you might think that the market is not actually responding to its technical movement, but whereas it's actually highlighting or moving based on a different technical move that happened in a different pattern. So you must have your field analysis, just by highlighting this high, this low here and a high, you would not think that one day it will come out and be taken out by a future movement. So you must definitely be clear and clinical with your analysis as well. Going forward, I want to pick out another low there. Picking out this low, look how nice this is. Picking out this low, and I move back the curves. Look at this side. So the past speaks the future, So when I do this, I'm just highlighting this low, but look, it's also picking up something from the past, you understand? So that happens, but obviously it's part of being a technical trader that history always repeats itself, guys. In order to master something, you must repeat the same thing over and over and over again. Being a master does not mean doing something new every single day. It doesn't mean playing soccer tomorrow, playing like rugby. It's just doing the same bullshit over and over again. I've highlighted a low there. This is 4-hour time frame, guys. I'm doing basics, just highlighting lows. I'm just picking out lows, just trying to understand what's been happening here. Just trying to pick out lows, picking out low. See, once I picked up that low, look at that low, already it picked up another one there, you know. Perfect. So there's another, is there more lows I could see on H4? There's another one here, here's another one here, right here on the top. You guys see that? Guys, let me just zoom it in for you guys. So I've initially just highlighted, taken out all the lows that have taken place on NASDAQ. So the question is, why am I doing this? So it's quite simple, right? Sorry, yes. Why am I doing this? It's quite simple. When the market travels technically, once the market starts buying with NASDAQ and US30, you know, all this type of analysis you're gonna apply onto all US30, NASDAQ, SP500, German 30 and everything, you know. So this is basically highlighting your highs and lows. What the market will always do, no matter how much it shoots up, it will always come back and look for a support section where it will resist, sit, and then take on a push again to the upside, you know. So when the market does that, when it retraces and comes back down, allow it to come and actually show you a resistant area. Once it starts resisting, then allow it to push. When it starts pushing up, obviously before it can shoot, you must take your buy. So once the market, for example, when I see the chart, just zoom in a bit, guys. With me when I see the chart doing this, like coming back to the previous high and it bounced once, bounced twice, I'm seeing that obviously I start identifying this as a major resistance, as a big buy zone, you know. Once obviously I see something like this, I start taking my buy opportunities. And if you're in my channel, you know exactly how I trade. Look at that, it pushes up nicely, went all the way up to here and it dropped. When it dropped, it doesn't mean it's shooting down, it's just coming back to the previous high. And where's the previous high? Here's the previous high, this is the new low. So obviously if I highlight it for you, here's the previous high here. Let's do this, sorry, just gonna highlight it nicely for you. Look at this, perfect. This is the previous high section. Obviously it becomes the new low. That's literally your buy area right here. You start killing it. After you bought, your market pushes up, and this is H4, guys. This is entries identified on H4, one of most obviously longest ever giving entry point time frame. This time frame takes a long time to give you entry points. So I'm just giving you ideas that even the biggest time frames, you know, big time frames like these, they can still give you entry points. Look at this. Even just see this kind of wick here, this tail here, and this one. When we go down lower to different time frames, these are actually, that's why it's always important to pay attention to candlestick wicks, you know, because on different, if you get a wick on H4, sorry about that, if you get a wick on H4, chances are that just the tip of that, just that wick on 15 minutes and 30 minutes or whatever, it's actually full candlesticks, you know. So don't ever underestimate candlestick wicks. They actually very powerful depending on your understanding of time frames, you know. Perfect. Moving forward, guys, as you can see, there's that how many buy opportunities can I identify ever since the 5th of October on a H4 on a 4-hour time frame. I can initially identify about the first buy here would be this one, second buy would be this one, third buy there, you know. That's about 11 entry points in about a month and a half on 4-hour time frame from October till right now in November, you know. But the question is, you cannot wait for one entry in 2 weeks. So you need to find a way. And how do you get more entry points in a short period of time? How does leadership keep getting these bloody entries every bloody second? Like, you guys know that I can give you about 6-7 entry points in a day in the channel. How the hell do I do it? So the secret is in time frames and understanding candlesticks, understanding technical movements, how the market correlates, and how it actually communicates. Actually confuse this industry. I'm highlighting that obviously a high point that happened right here, that obviously got broken there to come and make the record. I'm just checking that out, and I'm saying to you, the market will come back, obviously also sit here. After sitting there, it will actually charge up and keep going up on a 4-hour time frame. So obviously now I want to move up, I want to move down to different time frames. So I'm going to go to 1-hour time frame. Going into 1-hour time frame, before I even start touching the chart, right, you guys need to understand one thing. So what happens at 1-hour time frame is that, like I said to you, when we're on daily time frame, it is difficult to actually spot entry points, because what, there's only one candlestick a day on a daily time frame. So when we went to 4-hour time frame, obviously we were able to pick out 11 entry points on 4 hours. That's probably about 11 entry points in 2 months. So that's about roughly about 2 entry points a week, you know. But you can't be waiting for just 2 entry points a week. So you need to find a way to identify more entries in a short period of time, especially when you're trading indices, NASDAQ and everything and things like that. You know, you need to be able to make your money right there, right now, on time, you know. Good money, technically. The best trade is not how to trade the best way possible. So obviously I'm gonna zoom out a bit, not zoom in, zoom out a bit, and I'll show you guys where I highlighted. Do this. I just want to show you guys this. There we go. You see, so the problem with obviously smaller time frames is that the more you keep going down, the more candlesticks. So you can see right now it just literally looks like a whole lot of candlesticks because we're on 1 hour, and I can tell for sure that you guys can see more entry points right now, you know, more patterns, you know, even slight. At this, I'm going to zoom into a section that I want to actually analyze with you. So obviously, because I can't break down the whole chart, especially if we keep going lower and lower to different time frames. So I'm gonna analyze 1 hour. When I get to the 1 hour chart, I'm just gonna analyze this section here from this high till current price. So how would you have killed this part of the market? I'm gonna analyze. I'm just gonna highlight where exactly I'll be analyzing from. How would you have killed this section from the 4th of November till to date? You know, it's quite simple. So the market obviously goes down and goes down and bounces off the previous high section that you can see on a different time frame. I don't want to go there. I want to focus on this part. You know, when the market bounced off here, I'm just gonna highlight that. So when the market bounced off this, so I'm just gonna highlight that like that. I'm gonna remove this one, guys. So I'll put it back in once you guys understand why it's there. You know, when the market came back into this zone, into this previous high, making a new low, right? All I waited for at this stage is that should at any point fact that any possible drop is just a retracement to go and support on a previous high, right, to create a new low, so it could confidently buy. So if you guys looked at my analysis, if you go into the channel right now, actually let me use my other phone, and then if you're in the channel, but just you guys don't go to the channel because obviously you have to leave the live, so don't do it. So if you guys in the channel, if you guys are in the channel, I sent an analysis. Yeah, I think it's this one. You guys, can you see this? I sent this into the channel and I put a line there. Let me just pause it. Direction, and this happened before the market even pushed up, and I knew exactly it was around about this section when I put the line, and I said it will go and bounce off here from here, it will push. Look what the market is doing. It's doing exactly what I said it would, you know. And it's not because I'm a technical, I'm a forex what I'm not a forex god, you know. It's just that it's the art of being able to master in your consistent practice and consistently mastering your skills. So when the market refused to buy there, to continue selling at that section, I then knew that, okay, fine, this is definitely our previous high section that the market is waiting to obviously start pushing from. So what I did was I have to go now try and identify the trend. So what I do is that obviously at this point I would include my trend line. I take my trend line, I drag it nicely, I look for a high that I can trust, you know, look for a high like this. For example, I try to drag it from there. If you're like, no, that high is a bit too steep, I bring the trend line a bit in, you know. Obviously, I want to work from a high, this high, this high, this high, and this high, this high, this high, and this high. I honestly end this high, I honestly the same thing, you know. If you go on a bigger time frame, it's just probably one candle or two candles. So I don't like, it doesn't matter which high you actually pull the trend line from. So I'm going to highlight this, obviously. I'm going to highlight this high here. All these four is this high sections, all these four are the same thing. The market was resisting to go any higher there because it wanted to breathe, it wanted to catch a breath. either again. So I'm going to pull this trend line right from that high and I take it down. So when I take it down, I don't want the trend line to cut like this. I just want it to ride on the candlestick wicks. And initially, this is just so I can identify a possible change of direction at, obviously, after the market has dropped. So once the market has dropped like this, I put in my trend line so I can actually spot out when will it possibly break out of that downtrend and start facing up again, in like it does in its nature. So obviously you can see there what the market did. It dropped and it starts traveling to that high here, and to come to create a new low section. And once it did that, I waited for it and I monitored it. And the moment, if it had to, even if I can put, you just have to put your trend line, put it on the heads, on your candlestick wicks, guys. You guys can hear that. And I waited for it to come in. I waited for it to come and actually bounce off this trend line and continue going down or break it. And the moment I saw a 1 hour candle start pushing, and as it was climbing over my trend line, and I knew exactly at that point that should it close above the trend line and open another candlestick above the trend line, then it has broken the trend that it is on. Then after breaking the trend, I then have to wait for the next low area, if I was a bit skeptical about this low. So initially, for me, I wouldn't wait for it to come here. I know for sure that once it bounces off here, this is definitely a new high. Previous high point becomes a new low. So at this point, I would just buy. I know already. But obviously, for you to be able to master it and not lose money too much, you probably can wait for it. Depending, it's all up to you. Wait for it to break out and then build a new candlestick, a confirmation candlestick that comes after the trend line. And then after then you have to wait for the next low point. You do not buy after the breakout or on the confirmation. But the biggest mistake people always make is that when they want to confirm a direction of a pattern, they then take a trade after it has broken out. Never ever take a trade after a pattern has broken out, because that is possibly on a high. So let it come back and retrace. After it has broken out right there, let me just zoom into it. After it has broken out, you guys see it there? After it has broken out right there, you guys see that? You cannot breaks out. After it breaks out and confirms, chances are it will come back and give you a low section. And normally when it comes back, it goes either back to the previous high or the inner high of the previous low. I call this, I don't know if it's forex line, but I've identified it. That's how I actually identify mine. I call this an inner high of the previous low. So that's where it comes back and normally would come back and resist on. So excuse my forex language. This one may not be legal. The inner high is this. This is the previous high. It's the inner high of the previous low. So this is the previous low. This is the high of the inner high of the previous low. Normally after the market breaks out and confirms, it comes back and chills right on the inner high of the previous low, or it will just go back and give you a double bottom or a triple bottom. In this case, to simply just identify this area here, we just call it a triple bottom, instead of us trying to complicate stuff or you trying to learn how I do my forex lingo. But that's how I understand my trading better. So after that breakout, for sure, okay, this is our first buy entry point on 1 hour. We buy on that section there. NASDAQ is easy, guys. This analysis, you use it on all of them. So I don't have to go and analyze US data or whatever. If you want me to, I will. But this is how you break it down. This is your first entry point on 1 hour, second entry point, third entry, fourth. You keep adding. And the moment it pushes, that is where the lava, the nice, it pushes up and you don't panic. Point, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to highlight the previous. So once the market pushes up, I just put a marker on the previous high. I know exactly the market will come back down and start approaching that section there. If not, you feel like maybe it might not come straight to the horizontal line, you just highlight it. Just get a marker. You just highlight it there. So should the market come back into that area there, you know that, okay. Sorry guys, these stuff, they get really difficult to handle sometimes. Yeah, there you go. So it comes back into that section. You see that? That's a buy area. Previous high becomes a buy area. It pushes up. Once the market starts pushing up, it comes back. Where did it come back into? Into that candlestick on a different time frame, right here where it came back into. See this after buying, it goes up and comes back down. See, it's not going all the way back. It's not going all the way back down. It's doing what I told you what it was doing here. It's going back into the inner high of the previous low. If I change time frame, I'm going to 15 minute time frame. You will see that, okay, what the market is doing right now is actually sitting on a different high that is just right above the previous low. Understand this? So that's why you add more buys. Whenever in the channel I'm like add buys, add buys, add buys, this is what's going on. You guys now understand whenever I say add buys, add buys. So when I say take a trade, you take a trade. Understand my analysis. Once the market pushes up, I do what I normally do, what I'm used to doing. I go back and highlight the previous high area. Just do this. Previous high. The market must come back and dance somewhere around there. Look at that. Came back to dance around about there. If you feel like it's a bit tight, the market is not going directly at it, highlight the zone, man. Just like that. Doesn't have to come back to the gate straight. It will play around the yard. You understand? Highlight the yard. Whatever that's next to the yard, take it. Right there, it pushes up, comes back. It finds, after making a high, comes back to get obviously a new low on a previous high. Buy area. Look at that. Another buy. And look at this candlestick. Nice drop. There's another buy section. Look at this one. Nice drop. Understand? Once the market pushes up, what you do is you always highlight the previous high. There we go. Highlighting previous high. Pushed up. Highlight the previous high. Look at that wick. Came back right onto it. Look at that. Right onto it. Previous high. Right onto it. Understand what I'm saying? Once the market pushes up again, what do? You highlight the previous high. Guys, come on. It becomes like a game. All you have to do is wait to take your money. Understand? So don't be misled by Instagram posts and all of that. The money is on the chart. Don't feel pressure by my trades, how much I'm posting, what I'm doing. No, focus on your chart. Understand, guys? In fact, my biggest goal, I'm currently working on a project with my family. Just doing a few things at home. I don't want to go into detail into it, but yeah, man. So I've got and I have to push it very strong for this week. So let's see that. I'll try to share a bit of it with you guys. I also have a 1K account that's currently holding profit of 4,000 right now. I forgot to close the profit on Friday. Well, I just left it. So yeah, guys, this is 1 hour time frame, and this is how you keep elevating lower to lower time frame. After it goes up, previous high. Here's the previous high. Look at that. Came back and bought them. The latest entry point before market close literally was where? Right here. You could have bought right before the market closed. You see right now, the market closed on a very strong buy. Look at that, guys. I'm zooming in. The market closed on a very strong buy. Look at that. Can you guys see that? The market closed on a very strong buy. It closed on 16,591. That's a very strong buy, very powerful buy. And that's why I had more confidence of why I wouldn't close that 1K account. And what I'm hoping for that could happen now when the market opens is that it opens with a down gap, right? In our next obviously session, I'll get a bit deeper, but definitely if you guys are loving this session, if you guys are enjoying this session, yeah, man, these are our 1 hour entries, very basic entries. I mean, look, from the 11th of November, you can see it's very easy to trade NASDAQ, to trade indices. These are the easiest shit ever. Like, people just make it look like it's difficult. That's why I don't even put a price on my classes anymore. It's free empowerment for a reason. Why must I charge people when I can just make money so easily and just on my phone? I just have a passion for touching lives, and I'll continue to. I left my passion, which was football, to actually change lives. So I will live, and I found my passion in touching the next. So I'll continue doing that. You guys can see. Let me just zoom out. Yeah, you guys can definitely see that. Obviously, yeah. Okay. So let's speak about. Guys, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna go back to 1 hour. I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna go back to 1 hour. So let's speak about what are the possibilities for NASDAQ this week. So I tell you one thing, right? Looking at H4 daily and 1 hour, NASDAQ is looking definitely strong on that buy. It closed on a potential good low after a very great week buying. So I'm seeing a very positive week for NASDAQ. I'm seeing more buyers. I'm seeing new highs on NASDAQ, definitely. So yeah, as the market open, let's expect the NASDAQ to definitely be facing up, to be shooting up, definitely. Technically, not shooting up like a rocket. Technical. Everything here is technical. Guys, this is a very, look at the previous high, new low. If the market was active right now, you guys know what I would be saying in the channel. Buy again. Add more NASDAQ. Literally, yeah, and I'll also be introducing the 1630 entry points. I'll be going live probably once I've done the meeting with the company that actually wants to help us tour the country, tour Africa. In fact, once I'm done with that meeting, I'll be having live trade every single day, daily live trading with leadership. Where we trade literally the whole day, and 16:30 midnight market opening, everything. We're doing a whole lot of stuff. So this I'm doing from the comfort of my home, and so at no free charge, at no charge at all. You guys know me for this now. I don't do those stuff like nothing. We don't. This side is free, and it's because it's leadership. With leadership things are different. With leadership it's cozy. With leadership it's empowerment. So I don't. Change time frame. I'm gonna go to 30 minutes so we can see it a bit better. Sorry guys, so we can see it a bit better, obviously. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna extend the graph. There we go. Sorry guys, excuse me. I'm just gonna do this. So possibility, this guys, just different time frame obviously, but still the same thing. So what an up gap as well, so it could get both directions, and then after that we're going skyrocket. We're gonna keep going up. We're doing a record high till the end of the year, till 2022, till January. Maybe in January we'll retrace back down to the previous high on daily, and then start pushing up again. But we're definitely pushing record high till the end of the year, guys. I hope you guys are loving the session. I hope you guys are enjoying the session. I hope the session makes sense to you. I hope that the little bit of information that I gave you will definitely be able to grow you.